Today we're going to be welcoming spring by painting this fun and colourful floral bouquet. If you want to paint without pressure, then grab your brushes, hit subscribe and let's get straight into it. For supplies today, I have a 30 by 30 canvas board, a jar of water, a towel rag, a long flat brush, a filbert brush and a round brush. For colours, I'll be using Quinacridone magenta, light portrait pink, titanium white, cerulean blue, wedgewood blue and titanium white, and Quinacridone red, cadmium yellow and some more titanium white. Starting off, I'm grabbing my long flat brush and going in with the Quinacridone magenta and some of the light portrait pink, and I'm just going to be doing these very small and quick brush strokes to be able to get these loose florals. Now you can place them anywhere you like. There's no specific way to do this. I like to just kind of move around the canvas as I'm going. The point of painting in this loose way is just to express and have fun, practice your brush strokes and allowing your brush to take over and to paint more intuitively rather than painting with a plan. So when I've picked up my brush and I'm grabbing these colours, I have absolutely no idea where or what or how I'm going to paint, and I kind of just start off and go with the flow and see where it leads me. And most of the time you're going to end up creating something that is very beautiful because you are just in a state of creativity and you are following your own flow. So with my filbert brush, I'm picking up the red and the yellow and I'm not really blending them together. So when I'm going down with the brush strokes, I'm actually getting more than one color. So sometimes I'm pushing down the brush in a more thin and narrow way, and other times I'm pushing it down quite harshly onto the canvas and then lifting up quick so I get this really chunky petal almost, and I like clustering them together as well as doing single petals. Going in with my round brush now, I'm picking up the blue. So each of the brushes I'm using a different color combination. So we are getting these different colors as well as these different sorts of strokes. So with my round brush, I'm going to get more thinner and smaller petals versus with my long brush I get much larger strokes. So this is going to add some variety to the floral bouquet and is going to be more interesting to look at overall once we have finished. So just going around and I'm placing some blue around and slowly filling up the canvas with these different petals. Going back in with my long brush, but this time I'm using it on this side so I get these more thin and elongated strokes versus when I use it on its flatter part you get a much more wider stroke. And then going back again with my filbert brush and adding some of these more red to yellow petals and florals as well. I decided to turn my canvas, and this is something I really like to do as I am right-handed. So if you're left-handed, you might want to turn the opposite direction that I'm doing, because when you are right-handed, your paintings, particularly your flowers, your leaves, they're going to be leaning more towards the left. And if you are left-handed, your petals and leaves will be facing more in the right direction. This is just because of the way your hand is placed. So a very easy trick is to just turn your canvas around so you don't really have to move your hand around too much and you can maintain a comfortable position whilst you're painting. So consider that whenever you're painting more loose and abstract florals, because one thing that we like to do is to create variety and interest and not have all the petals be following the same direction or to be all looking exactly the same. We want difference in how they all come together. So going in with my filbert brush, I've added some sap green and some raw sienna to add a bit of green because I just found it was all looking a little bit warm and I wanted to add some bright and some greenery to it as well. And I'm going in and adding some leaves. I still have my canvas turned around because I do just want to maintain the petals going in a different direction than when it was the other way. So I'm still going to go ahead and add all these petals, and then I'll turn it back around again and paint some more. I've now spent a bit of time painting in a different direction, so I've turned the canvas back around to its original orientation just so I can get a look and feel of the canvas and to see where I think there is anything missing. This part is usually where I like to kind of determine what I need to add, or if there is anything else that perhaps needs a bit more work, or where there's maybe been too much done, so to make sure that I don't paint any more around that area. So I just wanted to kind of fill up the sides. I didn't really know if I was going to go with the whole canvas, but in the end I decided to kind of just add it all and have it be quite full and as if all the flowers are bursting right out of the painting. Taking some of my Quinacridone, I mixed some of whatever was left into the wedgewood, and this just gave me this beautiful lilac, almost lavender shade. And I went in and just sort of went over some of the pink petals and just started filling the bouquet just to add a bit of difference in the colour. Something felt missing, so I decided to go in to the center of some of the flowers and just go in with a bit of white, and I'm also going to add some yellow into it as well, just to tone it down and add some brightness to the petals. This is the final result. I really hope you enjoyed painting in this loose and colourful way. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and I'll see you in the next one.